What's up, Jets fans? Welcome to the latest edition of Jets Latest, where you get the latest on the Jets, Jets. I'm your host, the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez, reminding you, as always, if you want to become a Jets Latest insider, click on that join button. You'll get all sorts of exclusive content. You'll get all sorts of extra perks as we slog through this 2025 season for the green and white. But let's get to it, okay? Let's put that debacle against Denver to bed and start to move forward. We've got the Carolina Panthers up in Week 7 as the Jets are trying to get their first victory of the season. And I'm going to focus on this episode on how I think we can get it done, okay? Yeah, the Jets are home dogs by 1.5. They did open as a 1.5-point favorite, but then the Garrett Wilson injury kind of switched it up. Let me tell you what I think the Jets need to do in order to get that victory. And it starts like it has for this entire season, like it has, as per Aaron Glenn's vision, it starts with the run game, okay? The Jets are going to have to run well, and what I have been saying all season long is to be able to stay on schedule, right? 3rd and 4, doable. 3rd and 10, apparently we're going to get sacked, right? 2nd and 2, we keep it moving. Then we can utilize guys like Mason Taylor, Breece Hall, a Josh Reynolds, maybe an Arian Smith on play action if we have a free play on 2nd and short. But I digress. The Jets need to rely on their run game. And to be quite honest, the Jets have had a very good run game all season long. You guys know it. If you have been watching all the Jets games, you know there have been drives in every single game where we are just punching the opponent in the mouth and moving downfield via the run game. The Jets have 814 rushing yards on the season, 4th best in the NFL, 3.5 yards before contact. That's the best in the NFL. The most explosive runs in the NFL with 25 carries of 10 or more yards. This run game can be effective. The interesting part, though, and I have it here, is the Jets have run the ball 164 times. That is the 10th most in the league, okay? Why? We're not a top 5 in terms of attempts. We are running the ball, average, explosives, but we haven't run the ball as much as other teams. Why? Because we're not on schedule. We're down by multiple scores. We're in 3rd and long and obvious pass situations. That is the key. We have to stay on schedule, especially with no Garrett Wilson. If we are in obvious passing situations, it is going to be a problem for this offense, which will still be led by Justin Fields as the QB1. Aaron Glenn was talking about it. Listen to what he had to say. And quite frankly, I agree. I'm one of these patient, optimistic people. I agree Justin Fields should be the QB1. Here's part of the reason why. Listen to what Glenn had to say first. He goes, when you look at what Justin did in the games that he played, I didn't think he was bad at all. I actually thought he did some pretty good things in those 4 games. In the 5th game, he took a step back. So there's the accountability. There's the objectivity, right? I'm with you guys 100%, and we can't have that. We have to get better with that, and he knows that. He knows that better than anyone. I don't think you just try to bench a player after having one bad game, because I thought the other games he played fairly well. This is important, okay? This is important that we're telling the truth here. He had a bad game, but it's also the truth that Aaron Glenn is clear with it, that he is our guy, and that he has done some good things. A lot of people out there on social media talking about Fields is going to tank, Fields is garbage, Fields should be the backup now to Tyrod. That makes no sense, okay? What is true is the processing, the time to throw. Justin Fields averaged 3.95 seconds time to throw on the 9 sacks against Denver. The 2.8-second time to throw average is tied for the 5th slowest in the NFL, certainly contributing to the fact that he now has a 12% adjusted sack rate. That is the most in the NFL. I think we know that this is an issue, but there are things we can do. Get the ball out quicker. How about some screen passes, for goodness sakes, right? How about some deep shots right off the 5-step drop, boom, over the top to Arian Smith, right? There are things we can do, and I believe it's on Engstrand to try to dial up some things that don't require the 7-step drop, that don't require the 3rd read and allowing the time to get home. Because also, we know about Aaron Glenn's philosophy. We know about what he wants this team to be, and quite frankly, Justin Fields fits that. Check this out. Fields is also the only quarterback in the NFL with 5 or more games this year who has not thrown a pick. He has a career best completion rate. Remember, it started at like 57%. I've been talking about it on Jets Latest, how it's increased every single year. 65% completion rate and 47 rushing yards a game. That is the most in the NFL among quarterbacks, okay? So the dual threat has been there. The taking care of the ball has been there, right? It's just we got to get the ball out quicker. I think that can be happening by design, and quite frankly, that is easier if we are in second and manageable, third and manageable, if we leverage our lead punch as an offense, which is one of the better run games in the NFL. Okay, listen, here's the thing. You think about it, I know we're 0-6, but 4 of those 6 games were close games, right? If you look at a point differential, our point differential is minus 47. That's not great, right? But there are 4 teams in the AFC alone with worse point differentials. The Bengals, the Titans, the Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens, for goodness sakes, right? This is what Aaron Glenn wants. And remember, we also have a -7 turnover margin, including Justin Fields not throwing any picks. These turnovers is still the worst in the NFL. So I believe Aaron Glenn when he says that there's more to evaluate here. There's no reason to pull the plug. I feel that way about this entire Jets season, about this entire Jets brain trust. There is no reason to pull the plug. We talked about wins and losses. We are a third of the way through the season. Let's see what it looks like when the schedule opens up, right? Another reason the schedule is going to open up is when we play the Carolina Panthers, and this is no disrespect to the former #1 overall pick, but we've got Bryce Young as the opposing quarterback. And that is a different level of quarterback than we have seen so far this season. Bryce Young has a completion percentage of only 60.9%. I just told you Fields was 65%. Bryce Young is less than 61%. That's 30th in the NFL. His passer rating of 79.5, 30th in the NFL, okay? He has not been a threat. Now, let's look at some of these other quarterbacks. We have faced Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, MVP favorite right now, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, who's playing very well, and even Tua, who's been a Pro Bowler before. And then in Denver, it was Bo Nix. Bo Nix, second-year quarterback, but he finished third in the league in Rookie of the Year voting last year. It was a Pro Bowl alternate last year. Bryce Young has struggled a little bit more than that, and I think this is a passing offense that we can handle as a Jets defense, okay? When you think about it, we got to stop the run. I said it on yesterday's episode of Jets Latest that Rico Dowdle has been amazing, but Rico Dowdle is a backup, okay? Bryce Young does not scare me in the way Josh Allen might, or Baker Mayfield might, or even Aaron Rodgers might, if you want to know the truth. In week 1, Aaron Rodgers was making some plays to beat us, right? We were facing the reigning MVP in Josh Allen, okay? Bryce Young is a different level of quarterback. I'm also excited that, remember, Jermaine Johnson is back. We haven't seen much of Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald together. And when I look at the Panthers passing game also, they got a rookie #1 wide receiver in Tet McMillan. I think Sauce can handle him. And what else really is there? This offense for Carolina does not scare me. There is a way, if we stay on schedule in the run game, if we design some quick passes, if we leverage maybe an Arian Smith because Garrett Wilson isn't there, there is a way for the Jets to, at home, get their first win of the season against the Carolina Panthers despite being home dogs. I will say this. If Justin Fields gets sacked 2 times in the first quarter, if we turn the ball over, that fan base, the crowd at MetLife, is going to completely turn on the Jets, Jets. I appreciate, though, that y'all over here in Jets Latest land have not turned on this show. Y'all keep coming back, and let's see what you have to say. Black Jacket 1081 says, in the preseason, Justin Fields said he wouldn't have a problem going to his check down option if what he wanted wasn't there. So why is he holding the rock so long? I agree with this. And I also remember Aaron Glenn, after that preseason game against the Packers, was like, one of the things we learned is we can call a shot, and then if not, he'll take it down. Remember, like, Andrew Beck actually dominated in that first game against the preseason. So I do want to see more of that. Checkdowns, screens, get the ball out quicker. I agree with you, Black Jet. We got Jets Brain Rot, who says, thank you for being positive, D. Enjoy seeing people on their side of the rebuild. All these other sushi pieces can get the F out of here, you know? I agree. This is going to be a rebuild. You can't, Aaron Glenn says it, not instant coffee. I say it. It's not the turning radius of the Titanic. It's more than a jet ski, right? It has looked bad, but there are, despite the 0-6, there are reasons to be optimistic. Let's try to maintain, let's try to hang in there with this rebuild. I say it all the time. The Detroit Lions with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, their first season, they started 0-10-1. They finished 3-13-1. Now they are a legitimate NFC/Super Bowl contender just about 4 years later. Then there's Eric Thurman, 1050, who says, love your channel. Thank you, Eric. Thank you to everybody, to the Jets' latest day one regulars. I appreciate you. Remember, click on that join button. You can become an insider, exclusive content, all sorts of other perks. Remember, I also help you out fantasy football, sports betting, because I am the host of the FTN Fantasy Show over on SiriusXM, Channel 87. We hook you up, helping you win your leagues and win that cash. Hopefully your fantasy team is doing better than the 0-6 Jets. But if not, give your boy a follow. Check me out. I'll help you out. Speaking of a follow, I'm at Spittin' Speeds on social media. You could always hit me up there. I appreciate y'all hitting me up in the comments. We will continue to talk about this matchup against the Carolina Panthers. Oh, and by the way, I got word. There's going to be a singles Jets tailgate at the parking lot. So if you're single, go check it out. Buy tickets. I'll get the website for you guys. Check it out online at Jets Tailgate, I believe it is. Could be fun. Maybe I will be there. We'll see. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk about what we need to do against Carolina to finish off the week tomorrow. But for this episode of Jets Latest, we out of here. Peace.